Kanpai!
Everyone kanpais.
Delicious. What is it doing now? Why is it doing that?
Why is it doing what?
It just gave me another mug for some reason. Anyway.
You're an alcoholic.
Hi. Again, Kanpai!
Kanpai!
I don't know what's going on.
Everything has gone wrong today, apparently. But we're here for episode 47 of Kanpai Cast, where we're going to talk about if anime has always been pervy. And we're going to do that with our usual Xeno and Laws, but also our special guest, Tanandra. Hello, Tanandra.
Hello.
We're really lucky because you just got this new avatar.
I did.
And it looks amazing.
Why, thank you.
Absolutely awesome.
Hopefully also in theme with today's
show. Yeah, you're in your dojo. Yeah. Yep. How's everyone? Everyone doing well?
Hot.
Well, aside from the issues, aside from the issues.
I'm too hot.
Oh,
I get arrested for being so hot.
Oh, you poor people over there. With your
warm too.
sub 30 centigrade temperatures.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The models are showing this week we might actually hit 40. So,
oh, really? Oh, God. Well,
so we might actually, get into the actual proper leagues for heat instead of our whinging at our pathetic heats that we normally have.
Anyway,
oh no, here,
yeah, it's nasty. It's awful here. Well, anyway, let's get into some housekeeping. So, just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters. If you look down below in the video description, you can look in the description for timestamps, or you can look on the seek bar? Yeah, for the actual chapter. And if you click that, it'll expand it to show you everything. And last week, you may have noticed, you may not have noticed, the audio was a little off. We were back to our old style of recording over Discord because Craig decided not to record anyone. It was
Craig.
just blank files.
Well, I thought it was,
you had one job, Craig.
I thought it didn't record Joey, or is it just didn't record anyone?
Oh, that's right. It didn't record Joey. That's right. Yeah. So rather than try and sync Laws and Xeno up individually, which would have been just torture, I just used the Discord audio. But hopefully this week it'll actually get Tanandra. If it doesn't, then we're gonna have to give him a spanking and tell him he's a bad bot and that he can't come back anymore. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, let's get into the news, shall we?
Yep.
So less than 2 weeks after its premiere, as of this recording, Toei Animation has already identified around 3,000 illegal uploads of the new Dragon Ball Superheroes movie. To put this in perspective, it's about 10 times as many as the Brawly movie, which was already quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Toei is considering both criminal and civil actions, and if anyone that did it is in Japan, which is likely, Japan's Copyright Act, people who violate Japan's Copyright Act, and its Act on Prevention of Unauthorized Recording of Films, and the General Copyright Law face up to 10 years in prison, up to 10 million yen, which is about $73,000 in fines, or both. So, if they really go for this, the people could be in trouble.
Goodness.
So the first Anime Expo with reduced COVID restrictions was a huge financial success, drawing massive crowds and at pre-COVID numbers. But many of the 500 artists in Artists Row complained of terrible conditions, with poor ventilation leading to higher CO2 levels, bad cooling, and non-enforcement of what few COVID restrictions were left. So essentially, if the artists wanted people to wear masks, they had to wear masks, or were supposed to wear masks. But apparently they weren't really enforcing that very well. For an idea of how bad the CO2 levels were, normal outdoor air is around 400 ppm, with well-ventilated indoor levels between... that's parts per million for anyone who doesn't know. Indoor levels between 800 and 1,000. The levels were okay for the majority of the spaces in their center, but... the Artist Alley was just on day one, levels were already past 2,400 ppm, and on day 3 they spiked to 4,740 ppm. Yeah,
jeez.
Between 2,000 and 5,000, people can start getting headaches, nausea, loss of concentration, increased heart rate, and general feelings of air staleness. For areas over 5,000, OSHA has set a maximum exposure limit of 8 hours. So, yeah, not a good time down there.
Was it just not a case of it just wasn't ventilated?
Yeah, essentially Artist Alley was in the basement, and it was really, really, really badly ventilated and air conditioned. There was no air circulation.
One of these stupid things where it's like, oh, we can't put the ventilators on because COVID will spread.
That's actually part of it, yeah.
Everybody there's got it now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
I mean, there's restrictions which make some sense, and then there's you risking people's lives for stupidity. It's just...
But if you're going to do something like that, you should limit the number of people that can be in the area, right?
Yep.
You should, queue it up and everything. I'm like, oh, dear God.
Or if it was like a underground whatever area and it had no way of increasing flow and reducing numbers, then you bring in a CO2 scrubber.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. The what's it called? Did we talk about what happened during the MCM London Expo? What's it called? Was it like a month or two ago? With the fact that Trash Taste were on stage, and then some random person just during the panel jumped up on the stage, and there was no security or nothing to come get the guy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
And it's just like, oh, what the hell's going on? So yeah, I'm not surprised there's no security at these things.
Yeah, no kidding. For news surrounding, so for anyone who doesn't know this, this past week, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated by somebody with a really crazy homemade gun. It was crazy. It looked insane. But we're not talking about that specifically. We're talking about Kojima Productions, who publicly condemned the fake news from French politician Damien Rieu, I don't know, some French name, alleging that the assassin was in fact Hideo Kojima. Mr. Rieu.
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Later apologized for the mistake, but
Isn't Kojima Productions looking to sue?
I think maybe the retraction was enough to get them to not do it. I don't know. I didn't see that.
The big thing was the fact that it wasn't just this one news outlet that did it. It was news because Loz ended up showing me one, and it was from Greece.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Once he said it spread everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people are just looking such a big news story. People are trying to look on to jump onto any extra information or any extra footage they can show of an issue, and saying as they were
without bothering to vet it.
Check it. No, because you got to be first. Got to get those clicks. Got to get that stuff. Got to be unique.
And then finally, several shows, including the Japanese television premiere of the Bell movie, will be delayed due to the coverage of the Shinzo Abe situation. So, I don't know if it'll affect any of the shows we're watching, but if your show is delayed, just be aware of that. And that's it for the news.
Cool. So, moving on to this week, we have
Gundam apparently.
Huh?
This week is still showing Gundam for me.
No, it's fine. We'll ignore that part. We didn't have to point that out to anyone, Nasuth. It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine.
But the whole theme behind this episode that Nasuth brought up and I somehow okayed was has anime always been pervy? Yes.
Thank you very much. Good night. It's still Tanandra's joke. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You guys had it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's the question. Nasuth is now going to run with it because it was his idea.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you under the bus.
I mean, technically it was my idea, but I was just, you gotta come up with everything. You gotta throw everything at the wall and see what works. And
throw him under the bus or throw him at Truck-kun?
Throw me at Truck-kun. Get me reincarnated
into another world.
Into a pervy harem.
That only happens in anime.
I won't be the harem protagonist. I'll be one of the harem members. You see.
Oh my dear God.
That's the twist on it.
Okay, so here's a question. Have you guys felt that anime has always been pervy? Right? regardless of the subject matter. So, could you say that there are pervy elements in things like Pokemon? I would hope the answer is yes. Yes.
Brock exists.
Well, it's not just Brock, but do you know about
Brock, I mean, there's a glaring example right there. Boom.
There was actually an episode that never made it in the West.
Oh my gosh.
Where James. Yes, you know the one. James disguised. Yeah, right.
I have that. I like that episode.
I think that's actually that episode also is the only anime adaptation where there's a Master Ball. On
that episode?
Yeah.
Really?
Or if I can't remember if it's a actual Master Ball or if it's a balloon toy that is the same color as the Master Ball.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. This is the episode where they were having the bikini contest.
Yeah.
Now you've got something to Google, listeners.
Yeah. We've got other shows like name the show. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some pervy elements to it. So yes. So here's the question for the three of you: has anime always been pervy?
I think by Western sensibilities, maybe. Although I don't know if you go back to something like Astro Boy, I'm not sure. Like that early on.
So I can jump in here. Nasuth, Xeno was asking me to look at some anime that I thought might have something pervy in it and stuff. So I actually did spend a little bit of time in doing some research and things that were Western that I actually watched growing up, like Speed Racer, like Star Blazers, which is Spaceship Yamato. Yes.
Even those? Wow.
Even those. Astro Boy's a stretch. I haven't actually sat down and watched Astro Boy, but I couldn't find anything prior to really Star Blazers. Speed Racer doesn't really have a whole... I mean, there's nothing there that's like, eye-catching or anything like that. It's really practically wholesome. But that's on the Western side because that's what was demanded of... shows from the
censorships, yeah.
So it was only really about the late 70s, early 80s that stuff came over a little less filtered, not unfiltered, but there was a lot more.
Well, because they cut stuff out of like Sailor Moon and stuff, I think.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So if we're just talking about Western, this conversation is going to be really short, and it's going to end with no, it hasn't been. But I think when you're talking about any art form, any media, people have sex and they want to depict it. So,
well, and over here that's a taboo. But is it pervy in Japan where they're a little more open about some of this stuff?
Now we're gonna get into the argument about what does pervy mean, right? So,
yeah, exactly. What is pervy?
Well,
what is cinema? What is
weird that you actually raised this up. So I did actually go out and get the definition of pervert, which is distort or corrupt the original
Drew. I know you have to look in the mirror, but just come on.
I was going to say, it's a big picture of Drew there, yeah.
Well, shots fired. Anyway, distort or corrupt the original course, meaning, or state of something. Lead someone away from what is considered natural or acceptable. And a person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal and unacceptable.
Wow.
So, and that's I think that's a big interesting side of it is like, look at how much America changed the course of things like Sailor Moon or even Cardcaptor Sakura, right?
Really?
Which, yes, yeah. So in Cardcaptor Sakura, it was a show where the main protagonist was Sakura herself, a girl. In the West, they changed it to just Cardcaptors, and they chopped off the first, I don't know how, I think it's the first 30 odd episodes. Right, where and they made it so that the main protagonist was this male transfer student, right? So they completely redesigned the structure of the show. They also eliminated the relationship, the love relationship between Sakura's older brother and his best friend, right?
Of course, right, yes.
Yeah, so they just got completely rid of that. And yeah, so it took me hours to track this down, but I eventually found the age ratings in Japan, UK, and America for Cardcaptor Sakura, right?
Interesting.
In Japan, it's classified as G, which is suitable for all ages. In the UK, it's PG, which is parental guidance. And in America, it's TV-14, which means it's not suitable for anyone under the age of 14. And this is still with heavy modifications, right? What? The uncensored, the uncut version does not have an age classification in the States.
Wow.
Yeah, that what means that it's beyond the system.
It's illegal. No, I don't know.
No. It might not be available in.
But it's not
it's probably not. Yeah.
It's probably not available in the.
Or not available, yeah, that too.
Nobody's licensed it.
Yeah. So it's like, but this is a series that, you know, Japan's like, oh, this is perfectly acceptable. There's nothing incredibly wrong with it, but you know, other viewpoints, oh no, this is wrong. This is wrong in every shape and form.
You have to think of the children.
I mean,
the children who have access to the internet at incredibly young ages these days and see stuff that would have shocked us at that age.
On their bus ride to school on their phone.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but if I ever get the kids, like, they won't be allowed a phone or a neural interlink or whatever crazy thing they have to the minimum. I don't know. That's 14.
But Dad, everybody else in class has one. I have to have it to do my homework, or I'm going to get an F, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
I have both a PhD and used to be a school teacher. No such excuse will fly with me.
But you're old. You haven't been to school in years, so you have no idea. Here, sign this form.
Here's the paper that adding to science. What have you done, child?
My mom used to be an English teacher when she retired from that. So, yeah.
Yeah,
been on both sides of that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. But I just wouldn't let it. But I see what you mean. That those are the kind of excuses they'll say. And like, all my friends have one, and I need it. So, yeah.
I mean, they're getting to the point that you have to have the like iPads and stuff in classrooms, but you get like school issued ones that are like
you
super locked down.
Get issued Chromebooks, right?
Chromebooks. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're supposed to be super locked down so they can't like go off and look at things, but you know how well that works out. You know, yeah.
That sounds like a challenge to me.
Exactly. Oh really, wow! Speaking of pervy,
what the heck? Well, that's there now. Anyway.
Goodbye, YouTube monetization.
Yeah, we're too small anyway. It's fine. But if you like seeing this kind of stuff, right?
This kind of absolute filth.
Subscribe.
Talk about pervy.
Oh wow!
There's our Jilf, Joseph.
Oh my god! Seriously.
Look at this rippling muscle. Look at the muscularity.
Oh yeah, is Jojo pervy? There you go. Is Jojo pervy?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. It's so over the top. I don't know if you can really say.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, some of their powers, yeah, they're pretty disgusting and gross. It's perverted. I mean, like,
no, let's we got to save space here, right? Nasuth, hit the spoilers button.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Bam.
Spoiler.
Gonna just Vampire Hunter D.
That does also have some
zips people. He literally unzips them. It's gross.
Which one's this one?
Yeah.
DiGiorno.
So sticky fingers.
Bucciarati. Bucciarati.
Yeah. Sticky fingers.
Well, oh god, berserk. Oh dear. Oh no, the flashback.
I wouldn't say that's perverted though, because it's not exactly presented in a good light.
Yeah.
Turn off the spoilers now.
The dance where they're
I have a
dancing
horse to show you.
The head.
I have a horse.
Wow. Okay, so
goodness.
Here's the question though: Is it perverted if the target audience is old enough? Right? Is it something that should be banned? So I know, oh god, Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train movie, right? Was, I think it was PG in Japan, which means that anyone under the age of 12 can still see the movie without parents accompanying them. But in the States, I can't remember what, I think it was R. You know, so like so many people in the States couldn't go see the latest movie, the Demon Slayer movie, without being old enough.
Notwithstanding this actual security of movie theaters and whatnot, if something's rated R in the United States, you can still see it with if a parent says it's okay.
So how do you turn up to the cinema and say, my parents said it was okay?
Well, no, not like that. They'd have to be with you.
They'd have to be with you, yeah.
Right.
Take you in. Well, and PG's parental guidance, where it's like they don't have to be there. They just, check with your parents first.
So in the UK, parental guidance, I don't know if you get that in the cinema. I think you're going to get that on like DVD and VHS releases. But you do get 12A, which means that if you are below 12 years old, you have to be accompanied by an adult, right?
That's basically what PG-13, yeah.
PG-13.
So with this scenario, like what is the upper age limit of R ratings that you have to be accompanied by an adult?
18 in the US.
18. You have to be 18 before you could see Demon Slayer Mugen Train,
or have an adult with you. Yeah, NC-17 is nobody under 17. Period. Not even if you have an adult.
Yeah. You show ID. I think maybe it's 16. Is R 16 or 18?
I believe it's 18. I'm pretty sure it's 18.
Because NC-17 is if you're under 17, you're not getting in. We don't care.
Yeah. Which actually came out of
like a little more flexible.
The NC-17 rating, it kind of interesting. I looked up a little bit of this too. Originally they had the X rating, and the X rating was not supposed to be for pornography, but over the years, over the years it's become associated with porn, and so no movies really could really have an X rating. So they came up with the NC-17 instead and said, okay, we can use this one instead.
So a question I have for you is, have you all seen Demon Slayer Mugen Train?
Nope.
No, not the movie.
I need to catch up on Demon Slayer.
Yeah. So Loz, would you say, in your humble opinion, that Demon Slayer Mugen Train requires you to be at least 18 to watch it without an adult?
Trying to remember any seriously violent stuff in there. I remember the stuff at the start was quite violent with the demons or whatever, and I think at the end was the big gruesome.
But it has to be sexual content because we're talking about American ratings, and we don't give a shit about violence.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, violence is fine.
I can't. That's the thing. I was thinking about that. I can't think. You make a point there.
Unless you show too much blood. If you show too much blood, then it becomes a problem.
Like sexualized in it.
That's why Kill Bill had to be black and white in a lot of parts, because they were showing too much blood and they were going to get a terrible
too much red blood. Yeah,
too much red blood.
Really?
Yes.
But even so, I don't think there was that much blood in Demon Slayer Mugen Train. That would actually explain to why shows like Bleach got heavily edited with a lot of the blood removed. But yeah, so
it's okay to show people getting blown up as long as there's no blood or icky bits.
Right, exactly.
Violence needs to be clean violence, not dirty violence, not realistic violence.
So personally,
there's a comment there about real violence I'm going to let go by.
So personally, I do not feel that the age rating for Mugen Train. What was the age rating for Mugen? You had it up, Nasuth. Do you still have it up?
I can reopen it.
Yeah.
Really easily.
So what's the age rating for Mugen Train in the UK? That's what I want to know. So
UK was 15
in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
In Japan, it was PG-12 apparently.
Yes, that's you can go see it. No, I read it was PG.
Well, apparently it's PG-12.
Whatever. I don't know what the difference between PG-12 and PG.
It's probably like PG-13 over here. So like you could go see it if you're over 13, but if you're under 13, you gotta have a parent or something. Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely wouldn't say 18. I think 18 is like way too high. I would have said a 12A in the UK. I really, really would have. Like, is it really that difficult to distinguish the difference between
humans and demons?
Well, not just that, but fiction and
fantasy
fantasy.
violence. Yeah.
Are we talking about the United States? Is it really that difficult? Yes, the answer is yes. To whatever your question is.
Oof.
It is that difficult. There are people that don't. Sorry.
On a slight tangent, have any of you seen Stranger Things or Umbrella Academy?
Nope.
Yes, on Umbrella Academy. I have not watched the final 2 episodes of Stranger Things yet. I still need to get. I need to get on that.
I've seen season 1 of Stranger Things. Yeah, Stranger Things, and that's it.
Right.
That's the best one anyway.
To give you some clarity, Cardcaptor Sakura has the same age rating as Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy.
Wow.
Which, from what I've seen, there were like dark and violent and gross, gruesome things, right?
Yeah. Well, Stranger Things kind of goes back and forth between, the lighthearted sort of day world and this dark underworld stuff going on.
Gruesome, slimy, putrid,
bloody,
mentally fucked up. Yes.
Yeah.
But there wasn't too much blood, so we can bring down the age rating.
Exactly. No sex in it, apparently. Then.
No, not really. No.
Oh no, there was actually in the first season.
Was there?
Yeah, there was.
Was it Hawk and somebody else?
It was Nancy and her boyfriend at the time when
okay.
The other friend. Yeah. Anyway.
Right.
So it's regardless. Yeah. So okay. So here's a classification. So here's a question for you. Does it have to be sexy? Does it have to be raunchy to be considered pervy?
So like the bath scene with Goku or whatever in the original Dragon Ball, is that pervy just because he's naked?
Or not just that, but like you've got gruesome shows like the Guyver, or Berserk, heavily gruesome. I mean, actually, I'm guessing on Berserk. I'll have to rely on both. Heavily gruesome, but high age rating. But does that count towards being pervy?
Is the sex really weird?
No, there is no sex. That's the point.
He's asking, is violence also? Could you consider violence pervy? Because it is. Oops, how did I do that? It is like you could make the argument by his earlier definition that he had that it is perverting the norm. The norm would not be to go out and slaughter a bunch of people.
Yeah. Lead someone away from what is considered natural or acceptable.
Yeah.
So not even relying on it being about sex then, just perverting the natural order.
Yep.
That would be all of it then. It's all animated.
It's all anime. All anime is pervy.
All art is pervy.
Yeah. It's all perverted. It's not real.
Unless it's extreme realism.
This person just sitting in a chair just here. Oh. Oh, look at that
Pervert.
chin.
What a pervert. Here's kind of a weird question. Can something get so weird? Can you be used to seeing things that are so weird that the normal stuff ends up being like you always hear the joke about hand-holding being the lewdest thing ever. Is that real, or is that just like a joke that people have?
I mean, you can become satiated on stuff that normal people would find disgusting. And then conversely, you then think normal stuff is like perverted or weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not quite sure I follow the question. Can you repeat it, Nasuth?
So let's say you're so used to seeing really, really awful, perverted, whatever stuff in anime. There's the joke that, you know, a lot of people see hand holding and they're going, oh my gosh, that's so lewd. That's the lewdest thing ever. Could you actually reach a state where you're so used to seeing depraved things in anime that something wholesome like that becomes, to you, perverted?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel that if you watch something that is adult enough, you sort of like become desensitized to the more subtle things, like the you know, we look over the guy's shoulder to see the girl, you know, so we're looking over his shoulder, but when we're looking back at the guy, we're looking at her butt. You know, it's a butt shot, and like, why is the camera down there?
That's a lot in anime, yeah.
You know, it does happen a lot, but you tend to get like desensitized to it unless you start looking for it.
Yeah.
Right. Again, a brilliant one was Code Geass. Right, in season 2, you had a lot of these precariously angled shots for Callan, who was one of the female pilots in her mech. Also, she had to ride her mech like a sports bike, like sports motorcycle.
Like Darling in the Franxx.
No one else did. Right? No. Yes, actually, yeah. The female pilots of Darling in the Franxx, right?
Yeah.
But
at least that was consistent in Darling in the Franxx. Like, that's how they all piloted. This was worse because
she was the only one.
Yeah, all I'm asking for is equal opportunity perviness. Come on.
Exactly.
But again, like I think that then also is an argument against like pervy nature if both genders have to, or all genders rather, have to go through the same thing. You know, whereas if it's just like, you know, a subset, a very small subset, it's like, well, you're doing this for the views.
Yeah,
you're not doing it for any other reason.
So I've had this phrase sticking in my head here. Perviness is in the eye of the beholder. And I think, you know, if we're talking about sexism, that's different than being perverted.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
things are just inherently sexist all over the place, and people don't go, oh my god, that's so perverted. You know, they just go trying to get clicks or whatever.
Okay, has there been a show that you've watched that you had to stop watching because it was too perverted? Right? Not necessarily.
Well, there was the scene in JoJo with a cherry, and I just.
I'm gonna glaze over what Tanandra said.
Okay, sounds good.
And but yeah, I mean, I you know, but we're not just talking necessarily sexy. We're also talking like gruesome. We're talking.
Oh god, yeah, Overfiend. Hello.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Why is it getting worse?
But I didn't. But wait,
we're talking down this road.
We're talking about stuff you had to stop watching. Stop watching.
Okay.
You keep watching Overfiend all the way through to the end, to all the movies.
No jokes. Stop it. Trying to have a serial conversation here, Nasuth.
Serial.
Yeah. You know, Kellogg's crunching up. You know. Anyway.
The first time I watched Overfiend, I made it about 3 minutes.
That's about right.
Okay.
Do you know what you were going into?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I was a kid and I watched it all the way through. It was like so fascinatingly awful.
That explains a lot, Nasuth.
Oh, I also watched Clockwork Orange when I was like 12. So I mean, you know.
Oh my God. Okay, well. Yeah.
This conversation has massively derailed. Okay.
You might say it got perverted.
What?
Yeah.
It works.
So things you had to stop because they were too perverted. I don't know if I've ever run across that. Well, not in anime. There was a certain internet video that went around in the early 2000s that I couldn't make it through.
And we're gonna stop there.
Yeah, I'm not. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Moving on. But yeah.
Talking about anime.
Yeah. That's not anime, so it doesn't count.
Okay. What about you, Loz? Is there anything you watch and you're like, no, this is I can't stomach this. I need to stop.
Not because it was stupid, but because it was dirty or violent or
I mean,
what have
plenty
you.
of people had a huge negative reaction to Goblin Slayer. Right?
Oh, Goblin Slayer was shocking, but the only thing where I've had to pause and like go, oh, okay. I don't know the name of it. I don't think it was. I think it was like, I don't know if it was anime or inspired by anime. I think it was also like anime but CG animation. I do know when it was from. All I can tell you is the setting, and maybe if you can guys remember it, because this is just weird. It was a sort of. It was a weird universe where I think humanity had died out pretty much, and there was like an underground bunker that was also sort of like a city / living complex, and there was a few robots still working and living and existing, and obviously they were just still surviving. The main protagonist is a sex robot, basically, and what happens is inadvertently there's this underground base. There's some sort of like bioorganic mechanical virus that gets released, and it ends up corrupting the robots, so they sort of become biological, and then they become weird and pervy to each other.
Oh yeah, I saw
goes
this. It's
weird.
Evangelion.
No.
I'm kidding.
No. This is another level of it. I mean, it's just like, so then you get like the robots who are like, some of the robots, or they're sort of robots, they're almost like people, but they're trying to like avoid getting infected, but then some of them just give into it, and you're just like at one point, one's going up a lift and the thing opens and there's just one there, and you're just like, what am I looking at here? It's just like, I can't remember what that was.
It's got shades of Armitage to it. Because the robots in those, like, the Armitage herself is... Oh, spoilers. There are certain... the robots in that show are getting more and more evolved to the point where it's impossible to distinguish them from humans, and they can even, have children. So...
No, they look like people. No, these were...
Well, yeah, these look like people, too. But yeah.
But Loz's description of the fact that these... people, so there were no people left. It was just androids.
Yes, yeah. And the
yes, okay.
Human was obviously the main character, and there was a couple of the main character who were intended to be, robotic escorts, basically. There was a couple of them left, so they looked more human. But most of them, like the other character the main character talks to a lot, is just like the overseer for the site, and he's just like a floating thing with a face. I'm gonna have to find what it is. It was weird. That's the only thing I'm like,
And then it turned out to be
then it was weird. If you want to know
Transformers.
the plot, it was weird. It was like all of the corruption and thing of the whole facility was sort of in the main character's mind. They had released some sort of biochemical virus pushed to them, and then I can't remember what happened, but then they sort of almost evolve into like an angel robot, and then everything you saw, the weirdness happen, was just like in that robot's mind or something, and then you see that everything's fine, sort of, and then she sort of flies up into space or something. It was weird, man. I'm gonna have to find it. Very weird.
Yeah,
it wasn't a dream. I tell you, this wasn't a fever dream.
No idea.
Pretty sure it was. Yeah, I've got no idea. Not from that description.
Oh, I'll find it.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Okay, so we asked the question. Oh god, is there anything else? I'm not quite sure where else to take this conversation now.
We talked about like perceptions between East and West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have prepared more for this. I should have written down more questions.
You said you had loads.
No, I didn't. Shut up.
Yeah, you did.
Don't lie like that. Come on. Actually, did I write any down? I don't think I did.
God.
Well,
I don't think I
why
did.
not instead, if you want to, if you just want to talk about it, so why don't you have a talk instead while I'm looking for this about because obviously I'll give you the context for this. I was bored recently because we're waiting for the new season to come out, new shows to do. I was like, okay, well, I want to go watch something in the past. Maybe it's had a new season I've missed. So I have started going back and watching High School DxD, which introduced me years ago, and I actually really enjoy for the plot.
The actual plot.
I don't mean the plot. I mean the plot, like the setting, what's going on, the fights, everything like that. I find it as a really good universe and a really good setting with nice stories. And at the same time, though, I think it would fit very good in this discussion of can a show be good and pervy, and can you give examples and why you think so? So, and I know Xeno here can probably pitch High School DxD as a good example for that. So why don't you all give examples of that while I try and look for this very weird thing?
I mean, I could come up with several examples. We touched earlier on Berserk. I said Armitage, which has also got some pretty, well, not super pervy, but a little bit of pervy stuff in it. Gosh. Konosuba.
No, actually, that is actually a fair argument, because I just to check, Tanandra, are you being legitimate?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not joking about that. Yeah.
Like, because for the love of God, could someone wear a bra? I mean.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that. What's the name of the paladin? What's her name?
Darkness.
Darkness.
Oh, hurt me.
Oh God, yeah. The fact that yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is another thing that I think you see a lot more in Japan, is that the perviness is often played for comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that a little bit over here, but not near. I think just because we're more reserved in general.
Freaking
thank you, Puritans.
Steals the girls' panties and.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball does that a lot too.
Yeah. Well, in winter we had Miss Kuroitsu, and they had Wolf Boy was just a pervert factory, or pervert, because tons of perverted stuff kept happening to him, and he hated it because. It was hilarious though. It was played for laughs. It was good.
We were talking about before, like, any shows that actually the perverted factor turned you off from watching it. Thinking back to it, I couldn't finish Ranma Half because of the perverted grandfather.
Really?
Yes, so there were 7 seasons of Ranma Half. I really enjoyed the first 2, but then they decided to take it in a completely different direction. They got rid of one of my favorite characters, and they introduced this grandfather character who would just go around the neighborhood stealing girls' underwear. And every episode devolved into that. I don't know if it's because the manga ran out, or if that's genuinely the direction the show went in. So the manga went in. But I got bored of it. It was just like, that.
You got bored of it. You didn't get. It wasn't so perverted that you were like, "Oh my god, I can't watch this." You were just like, "This is stupid."
Yes, it was heavily relying on the
exact same
factor.
joke.
Yeah, the comedic factor of the perversion, to go like, "Oh look, it's funny, isn't it? You like it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't like this. This is horrific. I don't want anything to do with this ever again." So,
is this the original Ranma release from the 80s, or when is this?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Didn't it make it all the way into the 90s though? I don't know.
I remember watching the first season, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't watch the rest of it. I'll have to check back into it.
I could never quite get into Ranma.
First 2 seasons were, fairly okay. The second, towards the end of the first season, they introduced the character Shampoo, which is this girl that turned into a cat, right? But she just disappeared, like basically entirely.
So she's Launch. Remember Launch?
Yes. Anyway, but yeah, so it's just the show just became boring and monotonous, and I mean that's one thing that a show can do with its pervy nature. It can just get boring because they don't try.
They rely too much on that and not actual jokes.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. Can you watch a show that has pervy stuff in it and enjoy it and not be a pervert? Because does watching something pervy make you a pervert, essentially?
I mean, no.
Well,
but depending on your enjoyment level, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I feel this might be dangerous territory here because
I always come up with the dangerous questions.
You really fucking do, right? I mean, a person whose sexual behavior is regarded as abnormal and unacceptable. I mean, I hope you're going to ask a question rather than just put up your hand and nominate yourself.
I wanted to mention why I want to rewatch Round 1/2 a lot.
Oh yeah,
go on.
Because I identify with that.
I was gonna say, yeah,
a little bit.
Yep, that's fair.
Plus, I'm constantly being told by society that I shouldn't exist. So yeah, that's another thing.
Are they telling Ranma that he/she shouldn't exist?
Well,
I've never watched it.
Just beat your ass. Either form wouldn't matter.
Well, depends.
That
I meant Ranma, but yes, okay, yes, that's fair.
I found it.
You found it.
It's called Malice at Doll.
Malice at Doll.
And I've just googled. None of the image searches has any of the horrific stuff in. Well, apart from one looks a bit weird.
Turn off safe search or go to Bing.
Lol.
I think I might say such stories off. I don't think. Let's try Bing.
Bing it.
No, it's even less. That was a little bit horrific there.
Oh, so this is the style? Like really early CG?
Yeah, but it's Japanese.
This CG looks horrific.
Yeah,
It's
now I'm getting into
2001.
really weird stuff.
Gee, that's really uncanny valley. I wonder what people think of that.
Don't watch it. Whatever you do.
Oh, I see. Yeah, we got one of them licking a robot.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's one person infected. That was like I remember that scene. It's like it's just like a normal robot doing basic stuff, and then the person converts them's infected, and they're infecting the robot. And then later on, you're like, I think that's the scene when the door opens. You're like, oh.
Really
weird
art style.
Anyway,
I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever. I'm sure people will be like, oh, you think that's horrific? You could find this, but I just mean it was the only thing, especially with the weird CG. It's
Yeah.
Like, okay.
This is like-
Uncanny valley.
This is like PlayStation 2 FMV level graphics.
I just upgraded from PlayStation 2. I'm now PlayStation 4.
nice.
Working on 5. My graphics, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
We got that.
You stuck a few extra processors in there and
Okay,
you know.
now let's move on.
Oh my god. Okay then. Loz, you come up with a question.
I did for the last one when I left you looking for that.
No,
Yeah.
but then we came up with other questions after that.
Well, there was like 5 minutes. It didn't take me that long to find this Malice At Doll thing.
We've been at it for 10 minutes.
I gave it the last question. I should have all given examples about. Did you explain why House Call DxD was good?
I got a
Oh
question.
yeah.
I have a question.
That
There
one.
we go. Tanandra's
What?
going to save us.
What is the first lewd or perverted thing you saw in anime that you recognized as such?
Vampire Hunter D.
Tenchu Moyo.
There are two things in Vampire Hunter D that I explicitly remember. One of them is when I think D is taking a shower, and the girl, like the woman, like comes in with him, and she's like, "You can do anything to me that you want," and I'm like, and he's like, "No, I can't. No, that wouldn't be right." And then later on, there are like these 3 weird snake women creatures that try to trap him, and they're just completely nude, and yep, those are the 2 big things that I remember. And they try to trap him by seducing him. So,
I've been wanting to talk about Xeno seeing Tenchi Muyo. There's so much in that show.
Yeah, and
So
like
many
a large
bad issues came out of that. Oh my god!
And a large part of the problem is that a lot of the humor got dumbed down and just flat out removed because they were trying to market the series to kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I can't remember.
Can I just check, when you say you found that, was that in the dumbed down versions that were broadcast on British television, or do you mean that did you see the originals and that's why? Because I can't remember any. And I watched Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, and Tenchi in Japan.
Sorry,
what was broadcast?
Could you elaborate further?
Which version are you saying had the Pervy bits in?
The uncensored version.
Yeah, so that's the thing, because I was trying to find my own. I was like, well, I watched those. I don't remember those.
So, like, one of the best jokes in the series was in the second episode, after Tenchi had escaped his encounter with Ryoko. Tenchi went home, and Ryoko was there waiting for him. She then causes a ruckus, and his dad comes upstairs to find out what the hell's going on, and he peeps through the door that's ajar and discovers that Tenchi has a girl in his room, and the father says, if I was his mother, I'd find any excuse to barge in there, but as his father, I respect his privacy, and he walks off. 2 seconds later, you see his father up a ladder outside his window with a camcorder recording Tenchi going, I might respect his privacy, but I'm going to record his ascent to manhood for posterity. And it's just like, what the fuck? But that entire scene was cut out from the American broadcast version, and it's hilarious because at one you see Tenchi and Ryoko, they escape on Ryoko's ship Ryooki, and Ryoko shrank Tenchi's home into a flat 2-dimensional plane, and you can see Tenchi's dad out on the lawn with a ladder. But the uncensored version is a bit further zoomed out, and you can see the camcorder there too.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yep. So, there you go. Tenchi Muyo. What about you, Loz?
I can think.
What was the first thing?
Gunbuster.
That was the first thing you saw?
Gunbuster.
Well,
yeah.
like that's what I was saying. A lot of what I saw was the edited stuff. I mean, I can't remember anything in God. So the first video of Robotech that I had, or Dragon Ball Z, obviously Pokemon. Well, I don't think Pokemon was that bad, really. It is, but it wasn't. I didn't notice it as a kid. It flew up my head as a kid. Cardcaptor was all edited. What else did we get? Gundam Wings, nothing in there. Attack on Blade, I remember. Yeah, come on, you just didn't know how bad the editing was that. So it wasn't until I went to university and was reintroduced to anime that I started getting stuff. And I was like that. And the first thing I can remember giving, because I was given it quite early, was Gunbuster. Which is ridiculous. In space, let's have our spaceship with a giant hot spring and a giant outside viewing area so people can see.
Yeah, very, very important. Very important.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, it's legitimate because you got the question of, well, should I, it's space. I mean, who's going to perv in from space except for people in mechs? But should there be people in mech? I don't know. I mean, you would have also thought... But
the ship is a mech-carrying ship that's job is to fly around with a mech.
I mean, you could ask the question, You know, why does it have one-way glass? Like, you know, it's nope, you can see right in. You get that. You need to get that pure ultraviolet light in there.
Yeah. Okay, here's a thought. Have you ever tried to show something to somebody else that you thought was tame, or well, relatively tame, but they couldn't watch because it was too pervy?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'll go first on this one. It was Sword Art.
Really?
I remember showing Sword Art to a friend, and they had a go. Well, I didn't have a go at me, but they were like, "Oh, Loz, why are you sending this? This is all disgusting." I mean, they're like, there's these sort of like.
Are you serious?
And there was that other episode with the like plant monster, and it was like spraying stuff, and it had the girl in the air. You know, I think that's when Kirito gets that assistant girl and takes her up a few levels. Yeah, so that's what they were complaining about. I was like, what?
That's what they were complaining about.
Yep.
Did they even get to the part with
They finished it.
Oh, they did finish it. Okay.
But they complained to me about those two bits, about that, and then when they sneak off to go live on a lower floor, in fact they're living together, whatever. Someone's just like, why would you recommend these things to me, Loz? I'm like, I remember that. Let me go watch it. Is that bad? Yeah. There you go. Anyone else going to share?
I've got one, but like, I'm not going to go into too much detail. But no game, no life. Right? Like, if you know, we went over this a couple of weeks ago. I absolutely love No Game No Life. I wish there was a second season. I would rewrite history to get a second season for No Game No Life. But I have tried to share it with so many people, and a few of them have turned around and just gone, I can't watch this. This is quote unquote too perverted, right?
It's the brother-sister thing, isn't it?
And
these are the same people that watch frickin' Game of Thrones. They're hypocrites.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if these people do watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, then why did you suggest any anime to them?
Lol.
But yeah, so like they couldn't stomach. It's not actually for the reason why Nasuth said, and please do not try and find the reason, Nasuth. For the love of God, shut up.
I won't.
Right. But yeah, so like, you know, they just couldn't watch it, and I kind of respect it, but at the same time, I just feel they're massively missing out because it's such a good series. It's so funny. It is really
good. Yeah. The one I was thinking, I won't say names, but the one I was thinking of was actually you were with me, I think. We tried to show somebody Konosuba, and like just every other joke, they were like, oh, come on, oh yeah, really? They're showing that angle? Come yeah. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
I think you know who I'm talking about too. Yeah.
It's just basically the fact that apparently in the realm of Konosuba, they've never heard of underwear.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, they have. He just steals it all.
Actually, that's a fair point. If they didn't have underwear, how could Kazuma steal it? So, yeah.
It's only Aqua that doesn't have underwear.
And the bloody...
he said the verbal component of the spell create underwear is steal or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But the receptionist at the the Adventurers Guild, she's also victim to it. Oh god, Darkness's mithril armor. I don't know how the hell that works, but it does. You know, so, but again, like, I feel that there are some cases, Konosuba included, that when you get into the show and you accept it for its other values, you can look beyond the perviness. There are some shows on the other hand.
No, go ahead, sorry.
There are some shows on the other hand that you like the premise, you enjoy it ever so much, just like High School Double D, and you cannot blank out the perviness. It's impossible, right? So, yeah.
We actually just had a good example on the scrolling by on the images of Kill la Kill, where the perviness is actually part of the point.
Yeah,
but like it's not pervy for sexual reasons. It's pervy for how do you explain the deeper meaning in Kill la Kill?
Just non-conformity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's you know, you shouldn't. It's resisting the hierarchical structure that's been placed upon a society for the fact of having people fall in line.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, and the lack of clothing is kind of like a visual representation of bucking the trend and being like, I'm not going to do what you say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Can anyone think of any other examples where the perversity is used in that sort of way?
Oh, like Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
I look up and all I see is Akira, and I can't stop thinking about it.
I know.
I've got one. Keijo. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't remember why I introduced Loz to Keijo. I kind of feel that you asked to watch it, didn't you?
You did? What's Keijo?
The
the butt fighting.
Butt fighting on in swimming pools.
Yeah.
But it has like
that was fun. Yeah, I need to watch the back of that.
It's got such charm and charisma to it. It's really enjoyable, right? But it is super heavy on the perviness, right? But I really feel that you kind of can look past it. It's just dumb fun.
I've only ever seen the images. I haven't actually watched it yet. It looks silly, but
it is.
I think I might be able to at least watch it and give it a try.
I think that's also another factor is like what other elements of a show can help make it more acceptable. Like comedic elements can help in a very large way. If you have serious undertones to it, I think it's like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with this because you're trying to make this more realistic than anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
Like the beginning of Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yep.
Look at the first episode of, oh God, we just watched it, Skeleton Knight, right?
Yeah.
Where, it got such a huge overreaction from Twitter, but the rest of the show is nothing like it. Goblin Slayer stuck true to its guns. Rest of Skeleton Knight, not like the rest of it at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were a couple of scenes, like the elf girls that were trapped in that one noble's place, but it was very rare.
Like the first 2 episodes.
What?
Like, you didn't see anything happen with the trapped elven girls there.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like, there's just some trapped elven girls, so we gotta go free them. And they're like, oh, we're on a bed. You're gonna get punishment. Meh, meh, meh. I am mustache twirling villain. Oh
yeah,
no,
that guy.
the heroes have arrived through my wall.
Yeah.
They steal my money.
And then they kick him in the balls a bunch, and everyone's happy.
With bad CGI on that, bad CGI walking animation, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, talk about perverted.
Oh yes.
But that one was also sweet, so it's okay. It's fine. It's realistic relationships for people that age. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, out of interest, Tanandra, have you seen My Dress Up Darling?
I have not.
It's
Not yet.
I thought I would hate it. It's not my favorite thing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a cute little, coming of age sort of story.
Just gonna say, Marin, Best Girl 2022. I mean, strong content. She is. What's called? We've only got 2 seasons left for this year, and Marin is still, to me, top of the charts. Best Girl 2022.
You made me cry.
Sorry, nope, Marin. But anyway, regardless of random shit, it's all down to interpretation.
Yeah. It's a story about like learning to love yourself, and so that the perviness is just one element that it the rest of the story doesn't really have that. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's more about this other thing that they're focused on.
Just trying to remember my memes. I think I got one that's actually relevant. But anyway.
Nice.
Cool. I don't know if we have anything else we want to say to this. Or should we start to wrap up?
Do you like pervy anime?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I think you gave some good examples earlier. I think it's like a question you could also say is, would you still think of some animes that you like that have pervy elements? Would you still like them if the pervy element was removed? You gave a good example earlier with Kill la Kill. Could you tone down Kill la Kill's thing? Yes, but it would also, as you pointed out, kind of the message as being sort of free and unrestricted by authority, and that's kind of in it as well. So, I know, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole squad of people that are nudists, so I don't think you can get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you could. No, the show does have tasteful points where they hide. I think.
Right. Yeah. It's all like stars and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, they could do more of that and it would remove or hide it better. They could do that for some other scenes, but I think it would reduce some element of the show. Because I assume Drew didn't give his explanation of why DxD is a great show, because he completely forgot.
You do it then.
No, I'm not gonna do it for your way. I'm just gonna say that it is. You couldn't remove one of the key things of the main character, which I think is great, and Drew will agree with me on this, is that the main character is powered by his love of breasts.
Oh my god.
He gets stronger through his love of breasts. At the same time, he's such a doofus and falls unconscious all the time. He never actually does anything, from what I can tell, most of the time anyway. But, like, they trick him multiple times by saying, like, if your opponent wins, X person's breasts will reduce in size. He's like, shocked. He's like, someone's put this mentality in him, and he powers up by an exponential amount to save breasts. So if you remove the pervy elements, you could still have the same show with its supernatural elements, with like demons and angels and things. You could still have the same show. Would it lose something if you remove the pervy element completely? Because the main character is light-hearted and based around that concept. So he doesn't. Obviously, it's got pervy things, it's got naked people sort of things, showing bits and things, but they never actually do anything. And anytime it's like, oh, it's one of these scenes, normally, as I say, the main character will just fall unconscious with a nosebleed. So nothing really ever happens. Or he wakes up and finds somebody sleeping in his bed, and he just panics and doesn't do anything in the end. So, but at the same time, it is the crux of the character that if you remove that element, you removed his motivation, it would be a completely different show and it would ruin it. So there you go. There's two shows that would remove it. Could you have the same show for remove pervy element? So can you guys think of any shows? Is the pervy element important and crucial to the plot, or is it just for the sake of if you can't think of a show where you couldn't remove it, can you think, this is a show where they did it and they could have easily removed it?
I think Konosuba would be one.
Yeah,
I think you could remove. I think the reason why it exists in Konosuba is to hook people into watching it, because the problem is the first 6 episodes of Konosuba are very slow going to set up the world. Right, as soon as it gets past that 6th episode, it's full tilt. You're going down the roller coaster, but it takes quite a while to get up the peak of the roller coaster. And likewise, No Game No Life. I think you could take out the pervy nature of characters like Jabril or Steph, and you could still have a good quality show. But again, some of the entertaining value is some of the tomfoolery, some of the pranks and the hijinks that they put Steph through. Even.
I feel the same is true about Miss Kuroitsu. I think you could take out the pervy stuff in that and still have basically the same show, but you lose a little bit of the humor.
But again, oh god, what was it? Code Geass Season 2. You could take it out. I wouldn't even bloody notice. Right? I didn't even notice it was there the first time. It wasn't until people that are more sensitive to this sort of stuff turned around and said, like, oh, how can you watch it? It's so, what's it called, pervy, like, what do you mean? And they pointed out, like, oh, but, well, why is the camera shot for this character always sexualized compared to everyone else? Like, oh shit, I never even noticed that. I wasn't even looking for that, right? I was blind
so focused on the story that you weren't, You
know, and it can happen. I mean, hell, like, Loz will... This is a prime opportunity for Loz to go, like, oh yeah, it's like, Xeno looks more about the whole animated on 1s and 2s and 3s and, you know, he didn't even notice the pervy stuff.
True.
Yeah, like a character just adjusts some, their like, puts their thing and just pulls their pants out, whatever, and Xeno be like, oh, look at that, it's animated on 2s. What am I thinking?
It's like... Oh man, that CG animation looks really jank. Look at that background character. That background character is animated on 1s, but that's animated. Yeah, totally would do that.
Spike up the budget for this scene. Sure, it's a panty shot. Yeah, but you can just tell. Look at the animation. Oh, it's animated on 1s.
Look at the shading. Oh, are they even trying? What is this? PlayStation 1 era graphics?
I don't know those sort of adverts that say, like, can you spot the thing or whatever, or only 5% of people can. If is your mind dirty, it'll spot this first or something.
Oh
like,
yeah.
So you don't look at it and just be like, yeah, it's animated on 2s. Utterly pervy. Look at that.
Look at the font they chose. My goodness.
Breasts? What? What breasts?
When did that happen? Oh god, I watch too much Corridor Digital. I love them to bits, but I do watch too much of it, and I fully admit it. Oh, the color contrast between those red flowers and the green trees just looks completely off. It's unrealistic. It looks horrible.
If you're gonna watch it, learn to do some animation yourself. Be inspired. Don't just watch it and be like, yeah, and think you're just armchairing assessment like them.
Oh yeah, no.
At least they could go and remake the Tron CGE scenes, like the light cycle sequence in an afternoon. Come on, when you can be that critical when you can do that, Xeno.
I'm trying. Anywho, right. Anything else anyone wants to talk about?
I just want to point out that because I randomly had this saved for yesterday, is that the first hentai with an X rating was Cleopatra, that was released on September 15th, 1970.
Yep, all the way
we
back. We
never actually asked the question, right? So, we were having this argument last night about is hentai anime? Yeah, you know. And so I'm gonna, before we talk about it, I want to ask Tanandra, is hentai anime?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do you feel that porn is cinema?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, fair.
It's the media.
You could show me.
Anime is the media.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you use it. That's why you have the subcategories of hentai and ecchi and isekai.
Erotic cinema and
yeah, it's just the media. So just because something's animated, it's animated, and it tells you what it, the kind of style that it might be in, where it's from,
Yeah.
But
no, it was just a question that we're throwing around last night, and we all pretty much just came to the same conclusion.
Yeah, it's all hentai is anime, but not all anime is hentai. So
yeah. Well, but when you say anime, the first thing hentai is not the first thing I think of. So hentai is anime, but it's not. I don't think it should be the go-to that people like. Oh, all anime is dirty and pervy like that. It's because it's
right. I mean, it's like condemning computing because there's porn videos out there on various websites. Can't use the internet. It's got porn on it.
Yep. Exactly.
And I also feel that it's quite sad that people that have not been exposed to anime, their reaction is, oh, what, Japanese porn cartoons?
Yeah.
It's cartoon porn, sorry, but it's
you can lead a horse to water kind of thing. People that have that reaction about stuff probably pretty close-minded anyway. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Unfortunate truth.
Game of Thrones is just porn. I mean, it's just American porn, American live-action porn.
Well, I mean, it's a HBO series. You know it's going to happen. Right, should we start to wind down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So let's do the thing, Nasuth. Cool. Right. So we're going to move into the supporter questions. Ooh. So Nasuth says, before we read the supporter questions, I'd like to remind everyone to like and comment on this video. Heck, let's go one step further. Tell us about your experience in introducing friends to anime. What was the first one you introduced them to, and how do they react to it? We read every comment every week, and they mean so much to us. Maybe leave a comment this week telling us about your first...
Yep, there you go. You didn't read the whole thing, and then you fell into the trap,
Right, so Nasuth also says, I hope you're enjoying these anime jokes because... the Danganronpans... Puns. Sorry. Won't be stopping anytime soon. Jesus. Okay, Zrugel says, Freezer is quite cool, but sadly his older brother is cooler. Oh my god! Right. Zrugel also says, I've been watching anime about dentists. It's getting kind of boring. I'm a little tired of the filler episodes. Fucking...
What have I started?
Thaylien got my back. Thalien's actually going to ask a question, right? I think all of these anime puns are... Oh, shit. No, they're puns. Thaylien loves puns. Right. I think all of these puns are a slam dunk. They're absolute slayers. And anyone who doesn't think so is a bastard. I would like to give one piece of advice before somebody goes berserk, and that's to let you know that the real way to deal with puns is not to Trigun.
Why did I come back?
Huh?
Why did you come back?
I don't know. It's not to Trigun, but to call the hyper police so that you can make arrest and declare... They can make arrest and declare case closed. Samurai Pizza Cats. Just slapped on the end. I don't fucking why.
Yep.
Right. Oh, look, there's a question mark. This has got to be a question now. Right. We're seeing more and more older anime making its way onto streaming services as the combination of a growing fan base and the nostalgia of the old classics is more prevalent, meaning everything from Bastard to Shaman King to Cory in the House is available to new generations. What old anime you haven't gotten on DVD or streaming service yet would you like to see come back next? Anyone?
I do have an answer. It's very selfish though. It is a childhood anime of mine that I didn't even know was an anime until I was an adult. And I don't think anyone else would like it, but it's called The Mysterious Cities of Gold. And I would love to see that in actual high quality DVD release, not just terrible VHS quality.
So are you saying like a remaster or a continuation? Because
there was actually a continuation that was made that was terrible. It was terrible. It was awful.
So I'm pretty sure Shaman King and Bastard were retellings of the story. So because like Bastard was way too high quality for that. So yeah, you're talking about like a redo.
I'd be alright with that as long as they do it in the same style. Same general style. They can cut out some of the filler and probably do a better job of it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be alright with that.
Anyone else?
I can't think of
a biscuit. I know I want Tekkaman Blade. And similarly, I would say cut out a lot of the filler, right? Properly animate it, properly redo it and things. It would be fucking phenomenal, right? I don't think that there was that big a fan base for it because when it was aired over here, it was always at like 7 in the bloody morning for us.
No.
No?
I don't know. Did you have Sky as a kid?
Yeah. That was the only way you could watch it.
It was on in the evenings at about 7, 8 o'clock.
Was it?
Yeah, because the only time I remember the time I'd get to watch it is, or I'd have to record it, was when like dinner was like, because I try and watch it over dinner and we're like, we're not watching cartoons over dinner, Lawrence.
Right. Because the only show that I know that was being aired during dinner time was Escaflowne, right? Which we couldn't watch the last 10 minutes of because, like, oh yeah, we're having dinner now, so time to put on like King of the Hill or The Simpsons or Star Trek or some shit like that.
God. Well, Star Trek.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I mean Star Trek, okay, yeah, but still, but I would love a redo of Tekkaman Blade.
Yep.
Anyone else?
That's
I'm surprised you didn't also say Guyver.
I mean, I do, but at the same time, I think everyone's kind of fed up of me flogging that horse.
I know it kind of seems a bit weak, but and I know it kind of is being done, but I would love to see a complete redo of the original Gundam series and just modernize it like they done with the Origins,
yeah.
because I know how much of it you guys thought was original and you loved it, and if they could do that kind of magic for the original series, I know it kind of feels like sacrilege because it's like that's the thing that started it all, but like it would be great because it would be make it into a correct starting point for people to get into it and things. So yeah, that'd be good with new animation and things. You can even lift the old audio, you know.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah.
I don't get why more shows don't do that. Lift the old audio, because some people are like, oh, but this voice actor's dead, and you know, da-da-da-da. It's like, well, no, lift the audio. Just do the audio. Don't even change it, but just animate it better. Maybe add in more audio, make it make more sense, you know.
I still haven't thought of one.
Fair enough.
Isn't available.
Immediately remake Spy Family.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Immediately get rid of the overly long volleyball scene and you know.
You can just skip that whole episode. I have.
Right.
Pretty much.
We could give you more time, Tanandra, or we can move on.
Just move on because it's a whole background thing for me. I didn't grow up with anime, so
that's fair.
Fair.
What about Speed Racer, but not a terrible live action?
Speed Racer's out there. Anything I would care about's out there. It's all, old.
Cool. Moving on to the comments from last week. Strongest Shell says, love hearing people talk about stuff they love. I swear the more I learn about Gundam, the more I realize how much there is that I don't know. And like, seriously, I'm excited and I'm both excited and terrified for The Witcher Mercury because I'm concerned that Loz, what? Explain this to me. I haven't watched the episode yet. Explain it to me.
Let me explain to you what a psycho frame is.
I actually know what that is now, though.
What?
I actually know what that is now, though.
You do?
Psycho frames?
There was one in Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
I was in Thunderbolt. Cool. Didn't realize that.
All right. Nick Evans says, thinking of the
psycho frame in...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. In Thunderbolt. Yeah. So, Nick Evans says, thinking of the card Gundams.
The paper puzzle ones that we were talking about last week?
Oh, right. I'm not saying I'll do it for you, but I do happen to have access to a digital printer that can CAD-style card and paper
and a CAD-style card and paper. Not that and a.
Oh, right. And a CAD-style... CAD-style card and paper prototyping machine that can be pretty accurate. So if you do actually happen to scan these and accidentally maybe send them over to me, I might suggest that they could be replicated.
He's not saying they'll be replicated. They could be, yes.
Yeah.
It's just a possibility.
Yeah. Hypothetical. So Zrugel says, talking about last week's kerfuffle with the assets, lol, and even got classic Nasuth 2, which was weird because we actually put time into working out why they don't work to immediately find out that they did
work just fine. Yeah.
So Nasuth pressed the button wrong, I guess. So, and then Zrugel says, talking about Thaylien's question using an episode title from Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. Press X to doubt. I can't believe that is a real episode title. Oh my god. Yeah, it actually turns out it bloody well was.
It really was.
It's like a fucking essay-long title.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolute insanity.
So it's time to move on to the memes. You can find memes daily over at twitter.com/Kanpai_cast, where Nasuth is frantically trying to work out how to move that to the right.
Yeah, I'm just leaving it there. Yeah.
Yep. And we have memes for this week. So the first meme from Nasuth is
Captain Caveman, thousands of years old, inept hero, has a club, hangs around with questionably aged children. Bludgeoning Angel Dokuro-chan, ditto. This is one of I actually get this reference for once.
Yeah.
Now, Anya, could you try to imagine a world without Twitter? World peace. World peace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Truth.
Yeah. Yep. Truth.
If a service dog without a person approaches you, it means that the person is down and in need of help. Yes. Follow the dog, and you'll get a free purse or wallet.
Oh my god!
Very, very sound advice. Very sound advice.
Oh my god! Yep.
He's dead, Jim. You get his face, or I'll get his wallet.
We were talking about remakes just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Here you have Shaman King, Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, and the new ones.
I can't speak for Shaman King, but I totally get that reaction for Cowboy Bebop and Trigun.
I'm worried about Trigun. I'm really worried about Trigun.
Yeah.
Really worried. Anyway, Spy Family, Spy X Family.
Yep.
Lost really likes that one.
Perfect face.
It is.
Yep.
And finally, the Evangelion OST, the actual scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which scene?
Oh god! So the end of lots of
Hold
them.
on. Pause, because those aren't my memes.
That's not your memes? Oh no.
No.
Oh.
We good?
There we go. Right. Nasuth broke it.
Because before you back, I just need to correct you that there was no Psycho Frames in Gundam Thunderbolt. It's a Psycho.
They called it.
It's not a Psycho.
They called it. They called it a Psycho
Trust me.
mobile suit.
Yeah,
That's fine.
No, it's not a Psycho Frame.
Oh.
They're very different, and I'll need to explain them to you at some point.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Anyway, right. So my first meme, the RBG goddess I ordered. What I got.
Oh.
I also found a new subreddit. We Are Weeb. There you go. That's a new subreddit to get memes from. We Are Weeb. There we go.
I swear, there's so many animes I see where like throwing up is depicted as rainbows.
It's because it's less disgusting. Right. Vampires can only come out at night because of the sun. But isn't moonlight just reflecting from the sun?
I saw another meme like this. Oh, that must be going around for some reason.
Yep. Third one, The Source, XXX, rated, and hot sauce. Like, what the hell is this even?
I believe if you do that even further, she's surrounded by tentacles.
Yes, but it's been cropped for
Source sake.
Yeah.
Reddit
The
sake.
sauce.
Right, there we go. Here we go. So this is a scene from My Dress Up Darling when things go a little too wrong.
No, at all. It's completely wholesome.
It is.
They're doing a cosplay photo shoot. And then they need to take a photo. It's like, oh, this photo's not working. You know, it'd be better if I could see up because then it'd be close to what's from the manga. And so he lies on the bed to take the picture from below, and then she sits in a position. They take the photo. It's like, okay. But
so she straddles him.
But then still wholesome. Nothing happened. Then I do believe the phone rings, and they knock out the lights, and then they can hear the people next door. By the way, they're in a love hotel because they thought it was
no. He works out, like, he realizes, wait a second, she's riding me right now. Yeah. And then they freak out.
And then
they drop
City.
the camera, right, which is his phone. And then they're, like, all close and like, will they, won't they? Then the phone rings. And they're like, oh, you gotta leave now.
And that's what breaks the tension.
They go for the phone or something that knocks like light out because the lights are off in the room.
No. because they drop their camera. It's their phone, their mobile phone. They drop it by accident because they freak out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not get yes, whatever. Anyway, it's wholesome, and then they're sitting there very quietly. Oh no, you're right. The phone doesn't ring yet because the phone interrupts them, doesn't it? Yes. They're sitting there in the dark, and then they can hear the people next room because they thought it was a cheap hotel for cosplay.
No, they thought it was a cheap studio space. Yeah.
And then they're like hearing the people next door, and then the phone rings and interrupts them. There we go. Yes.
Yup.
Yes.
It's real good. It's real good.
Okay. Right. Tanandra's like, I'll take your word for it. Number 5. It's impossible to look like a kid and a grown adult at the same time. Change my mind. And then you've got...
Oh,
I can't remember her name.
From Machoku Tensei.
Yeah. Crap, I can't remember her name because it's with an R. And then I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Crap, I can't remember her name. But yeah, so brilliant series. Again, people should watch Machoku Tensei.
Season 2.
Second season's been announced.
Yeah.
Right. And then my last meme.
Your last meme is not... I'm going to have to do it manually.
Roxy, that was it, yeah. My last meme because Nasuth broke the button again.
I don't know why these things just randomly stop working.
You can't describe weebs in one image.
Yeah,
Loz is holding back his laughter.
He better, and I know for a fact that he's definitely quoting out loud. I'm a mad scientist.
Son of a bitch! Right. Cool, and that is it
No,
for
no,
our memes.
Back.
Oh,
But
yes.
A meme. If they put that along the bottom of that meme, as in that's what he was saying, that would be...
Yeah. Right. So that is that for our memes. However, we had a community contributed meme from Zrugal. What the fuck?
Not all heroes wear capes. Somewhere scrubs. That's cool, but it took her 4 episodes to do my X-rays. All the love out there to nurses and health professionals. They're very hard workers, but it's fucking funny.
That is meme of the week right there.
Thank you, Zrugal. Thank you so much.
So fucking funny. If we could get a source of that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, so thank you all for listening to this week's episode. Tanandra, it's been absolutely lovely having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Especially in your new PlayStation...
Yeah.
Are we saying PlayStation 4 era?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
4 or 5, you know.
Yeah, so...
Next gen. It's always
next gen model.
Yeah.
Next gen. Yeah. Next week, we have a bit of a surprise. We're doing a game show where I am the host and Loz and Nasuth are the contestants, and it's Harem or Isekai. Yes, you do. Harem or Isekai Protagonists, the game show. So Loz and Nasuth will have to choose just from the face alone whether or not the person is a Harem or Isekai protagonist. Right?
It's gonna be interesting.
So it's going to be a game show. It's going to be fun. And yep, right. So that is it for this week's episode. So yeah,
my agent. I remember signing up for this.
Yeah, you did. Right. So I'm just going to say thank you all for watching / listening, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.